Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Broken by the people that he loved. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Told About the Uzumaki clan from the beginning on this channel. And enjoy, and I also post a brand new episode over and making 3 of What If Naruto was exiled from the Sasuke clan, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And over and making 2 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was abandoned and awakened at Kingkakashi, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, for you to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family, and thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, with this to begin this new episode, start the intro. So the last spot we left off as Naruto turned Sugetsu into steam as he vanished away in the dust. Sasuke then arrived as Naruto stood there. Him and Sasuke were about to battle until Yujito blindsided Sasuke and blasted him away, as it was just her way of thanking Naruto for saving her life, as she told him to go ahead and kill him now while he was down, thinking that he was with the rest of the Akatsuki members. As Naruto told her no, he and Sasuke were gonna fight, but not this way. He was going to put him down like this, as he felt others coming their way. So they moved off into the bushes as he held on to Nell and Yujito. Neji, Lee, and Tenten came. Sasuke by a good enough distraction as he came out of the bushes, as they turned towards him. As Sasuke told Neji that it was all his cousin's fault anyway, Neji knocked him down to the ground, as he told him not to say that because him and Sakura are just as responsible for Naruto's state as he is now as Hinata. And for the past couple of years, Hinata has been suffering, so he would not just stand here and let him put all the blame on Hinata like that. No, he would not. Before Sasuke could inquire what they were talking about, Neji was interrupted by Tenten, who told him no, as he had promised Sakura. That got Sasuke curious. They received a letter before Sasuke could ask from an owl from the Hokage. They were supposed to return back for further instructions. Sasuke said he still had some things to do before returning back. At Konoha, Sakura was currently looking down at the photograph. It was her and Naruto before Sasuke had returned. The both of them had been together before Sasuke had returned. And right as he returned, she had acted like the stupid fangirl that she was, and just threw Naruto away after all he's been through, after all he went through. And not to mention, they had went to him to ask him if he could be the best man. Sasuke did not know. She never told him what her and Naruto had been through, and she felt like hell. And now he was out there because of her. She was a part of the reason, and she had to go out there. She had to go out there and talk to him. It doesn't matter what it takes. As she packed her things, Hinata on the other hand had left a long time ago, as she had a hound that was tracking the scent of Naruto. After, she was able to make Tazuna and the others trust her, as Nami was able to see the broken look in her eyes as she was making her way. Meanwhile, Naruto had gotten the flare from the man that he had sent to contact his boss. Not even the man knew if his boss was a female or a man. After all, the only thing he knew the boss as was a leader. The next morning, another group arrived. They were stupid enough to question Naruto's strength, as Naruto showed them as he sliced the man across his chest. He dropped down to the ground bleeding as his friends jumped in. Hinata then arrived as Naruto told him to leave them. He wants some privacy. Hinata looked towards Naruto. She couldn't believe it, as she told him everything that happened back in the past, things that she was afraid to tell him, but it didn't really change much. The part of him that was there, that loved people, was now broken. Despite her telling him that she did it for Hanabi and Konohamaru, her father's demands, and also Kiba's as well. For the past couple of years, she has never stopped loving him no matter what. But things couldn't just go back normal like that. He was broken. He lost so much. He'd been through so much hell. And just because of her apologizing and telling him, and she could have told him in the past, it was not going to fix anything. She understood. Even though she had just betrayed her home and came out here to find him, she understood. She would not force him to be with her or love or anything like that, as she was making her way off. The fox told Naruto to stop her because he was not going to spend the rest of his time whining that he should have done something. Worse, if she got captured out here, he would blame himself for the rest of eternity. As Naruto told her to stop. So yeah guys, it was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across and play sector for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. Hinata, stop. It's too dangerous for you to be out here on your own alone. I'm making you no promises on what will happen between you and me. But if you want to accompany us, you're welcome. Her response was instantaneous. Before he could blink, he was enveloped in a hug. After a moment, she realized what she did, as she immediately released him. I'm sorry, Naruto, she said. I shouldn't have done that, but I would like very much to accompany you, she said. It is alright, said Naruto. But you do remember what I said about no promises, as he was a bit taken back by her hug. Yes, I understand. But just so you know, I do believe that you have the capacity to love and be loved. You just need to find in yourself to let love back in your life. As Naruto looked at her, she just looked back at him, hoping that there was still some chance out there. But he did not respond to her statement. Until Nell ran up to Hinata and jumped right in her arms. Know that everyone is friends again. I have another friend to play with, she said, as she held Hinata. Hinata giggled by the small, cute child in her arms. As Naruto looked towards her, the smile on her face. Are you sure this is a good idea, said Yujito. I don't know, said Naruto, but she's coming with us. Whatever, said Yujito, as she was clearly not liking that Hinata was joining the group. As Naruto called Daisuke back over. Meanwhile, an unknown location, as Sasuke stood in front of a servant. I seek an audience with your master. Be gone. Master Byakuya left. Strict orders to not be disturbed. Tell your master, it's Sasuke Uchiha from the Sasuke clan from Land of Fire, and I invoke the blood pact between the Akatsuki clan and the Uchiha clan made many years ago with one another to seek his audience. The servant went in and closed the door as Sasuke waited patiently. A few moments later, the servant came back out as Sasuke was let in. He made his way down the long hallway before he came to a stop as he was told to wait. Moments later, a man with onyx colored hair and wearing a headpiece called Kensekin that symbolizes nobility of the head of the family. His appearance, and not to mention his stoic voice, it reminds Sasuke of his older brother, Sasuke Uchiha of the Land of Fire. For what reason do you seek an audience with me? Thank you for seeing me, Lord Byakuya. The reason I'm seeking an audience with you is because I seek a sword that can kill a demon, and I was told that the Akatsuki clan could provide me with such a weapon. Indeed, a most unusual request. Come with me, Sasuke Uchiha, we have much to discuss. Time skip. As Naruto and his company made their way through the forest, there was many things going through his mind at the moment. Hinata's appearance was unexpected, and the surprising reason why she was there as well. After finally hearing everything, the real reason why she actually married Kiba, and her confession of love for him, realizing that after all these years, he finally knew everything, and not to mention everything she gave up by coming out here to confess to him. It gave him back something he thought he lost a long time ago. Hope. It gave him a sense of hope that he has not felt in a rather long time. He thought that he had given up completely after what he had endured in the village. But he wondered if he can once again hope. Or perhaps even open his heart back up once again. Of course, Nell. Ever since he met her, she had gave him hope to continue to move on after all. He was now taking care of her, becoming a father to her. But now Hinata arrived, and the hope started to get, well, more consuming. And she said that she was not going to do anything to push him into anything. She would respect his choices and give him time to see if he would ever love again. That given nature of her was one of the many reasons why he fell in love with her in the first place. However, there was still anger and pain for what she had done. She should have trusted me. I could have done something. What? I don't know, but something. I know that she honestly believed she was protecting me, Konohamaru, Hanabi, but still, the image of her at the altar next to Kiba. Damn it all, he thought to himself. As he glanced over towards her, she was holding Nell in her arms and making funny faces at the child, making her smile and giggle. He turned his gaze towards Yujito. She was also looking at the scene as well, but her look was one of disdain. Ever since he met Hinata, that look had increased. He knew that he would have to have a talk with Yujito about Hinata in the near future. He then spoke up loud. There's a small clearing up ahead. We will rest a bit before we move off to our final destination. And where exactly are we going? Asked Yujito. There was a slight annoyance in her tone. He simply flashed her a grin. I'll let you know when we get there, Yujito-chan, he said. She turned her head, but a small blush was on her face. This was the second time he was using the honorifics Chan. At the end of her name, Hinata felt something inside of her twitch. Jealousy. But in a way she was happy, hearing him use the honorifics. Maybe his heart wasn't completely cut off to love. Maybe he could find a way to even love her again. Meanwhile, back in Konoha, one Inuyasha Kiba was beyond furious as he angrily packed his things into a bag. The object of his rage was someone who he once considered a friend and comrade, Naruto Uzumaki. But now the mere mention of his name was like vile in his throat, because that one person was the exact reason why his marriage was failing. I'll make you pay, Naruto. I swear I will. So this is Naruto's fault, I take it. Kiba swore as he nearly jumped out of his skin. Once again he let his guard down. Here to explain why Hinata leaving is Naruto's fault. As he glanced towards the door, his longtime friend, Shino Abermi, was leaning against the door frame. Of course this is his fault. Who else would it be? Hinata's, said Shino. You better take that back right now, said Kiba. I don't say that to hurt you. Hinata is one of my close friends. But Naruto did not force her to go after him when he left the village. She went on her own accord. She made the choice all on her own. Choice? What choice? She's my wife, goddammit. Shino shook his head as he felt pity for Kiba. But she doesn't love you. Well, not in the way that you want. She is in love and will always be in love with Naruto. I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear, but it is the truth. As Kiba looked away, hiding the sadness on his face, you knew that. But you and her family still forced the arranged marriage even though you knew her heart belonged to another. Yet you still went through it, Shino said. Why? Why did you do that? You knew it would break her heart. Why? Asked Shino. Because I love her, damn it, he said. I thought eventually, as he collapsed down towards the ground, she would get over him and love me as well. But she didn't, Kiba. And for the last 3 years I watched her go through that marriage with you. And little by little her spirit was dying. I've also watched you treat her cruelly with your actions in your marriage. So is it really so surprising that she finally decided to leave you? I'm truly sorry, Kiba. I care about the both of you. And I know what I'm saying hurts. But you know it's the truth. And if you care about her and her happiness, you must let her go. As Shino made his way towards the exit. No! As Shino froze. As he turned to look towards Kiba, his face was angry. What? His face was twisted in rage. I said no, Shino. I won't give her up. She's just confused, he said, like he was talking to himself. She just needs more time to know that she can get to love me. Sure, I could have treated her better in the marriage, but I just got sick and tired of her always moping around. If she couldn't give up her love for Naruto for me all that time, then I got no reason to feel guilty for the things that she's been through so far. So I'm leaving tonight to bring her back, whether he likes it or not. Shino hanged his head in sadness. Clearly his friend was blinded by jealousy. Kiba, are you listening to yourself? Whether she likes it or not, do you really want to continue a marriage that is based upon nothing but force? It doesn't matter. Shino stepped forward. As he was getting agitated, she shoved Kiba back, forcing him to look at him. Do you honestly believe keeping her in such a way would make her love you? That it will work over time? Think, Kiba, it will just make her resent you even more. Kiba simply shoved Shino right back. I don't care what you have to say or think. I'm getting her back. As he reached for his weapon pouch. Are you gonna try and stop me? Said Kiba. Shino shook his head. No, Kiba. I won't try and stop you. Thanks, Shino. I didn't want to fight you anyway. Wish me luck. That I can't. Because even if you succeed, this will end bad for you no matter what you do. As Kiba simply shrugged it off as he walked past Shino. As he left, in that same village, a couple was also gonna be separating as well. I don't think that we should see each other anymore, said Shikamaru, as he looked towards his distraught girlfriend of 2 years, Inu Yamanaka. However, this was not the first time he was seen her in this state. When Shikamaru arrived at Inu's house, he found her like this, in this state, and it was not the first time. Over the past 2 years, she had fell into a state like this over and over, and it usually involved Naruto Uzumaki. Shikamaru knew that his encounter with Naruto, with her being there, had shaken her badly. As much as he wanted to hate Naruto for Ino still loving him, Shikamaru could not find it in himself for doing that. After all, none of this was Naruto's fault. It was his. As he heard her spoke, What do you mean we shouldn't see each other anymore? Don't you love me, Shikamaru, she said. He sat down beside her on the couch as he took her hands. Ino, I will always love you, but you and I aren't meant to be. Your heart belonged to another. And it's finally time I accept that. She shook her head. No, I don't know what you mean. I love you, she said. As Shikamaru shook his head, but you're in love with Naruto, and you have been since I forced you to break up with him. She turned her head away. She was afraid that the emotion in her face would betray her right there and then. That's not true, she said. You did not force me to break up with him. I chose you over him. As Shikamaru sighed, You chose me because I forced you to, he said. When I came to you and told you I was in love with you, you were with Naruto. But rather than give you time to sort through your feelings on your own, I gave you an ultimatum and forced you to choose. Just saying that, it made him feel so guilty. I admit there was a calculating act on my part. I counted on our long-standing friendship, that it would sway your heart over to my favor. But I couldn't allow you to think about the decision, so I rushed it. I'm so sorry I did that to you. It was selfish and self-serving on my part. And I'm so sorry I did that to you and Naruto, he said, tears pooling in her eyes. I hope you can forgive me, he said. I never meant to hurt either of you, and I'm ashamed of myself for it. I just want you to be happy. And if Naruto does that for you, you should be with him, not me. She snapped her head towards him. I can't believe you're telling me to go to Naruto, she said. He almost killed you and Choji a few days ago. Shikamaru shrugged. If Naruto wanted us dead, we wouldn't be standing here right now. I even spoke to Choji about this. The only reason Naruto trashed him so badly is because Choji had tried to kill him, thinking that he had killed me with that attack. I guess that makes sense, said Ino. I didn't get the impression that he wanted to fight us. He just wanted to be left alone. As her shoulders dropped. But what can we do to bring him back? He's in so much pain, and he's not listening to anyone anymore. That's not true. He listened to you at the fight. Tears started to leak from her eyes. I have a feeling that was a one-time deal. The pain is in. I am a big cause of it, she said. Don't take all the blame yourself. I, and many others, had a hand in driving him away. I only hope that one day, he might be able to forgive us. He released her hands as he got to his feet. Well, you got some packing to do. If you're gonna go after Naruto, he said, as he kissed her on the forehead. Oh, I forgot, she said. Ladies neither order me not to go after Naruto. What do I do, she said. Well, when does the Ino Yamanaka know let anything stop her from getting what she wants? Ino smiled as she hugged Shikamaru, as he hugged her back. Are you going to be okay, she whispered, as he gave her a half chuckle. You troublesome woman. I'm going to be fine, he said. I just wanted to be happy. Thank you, Shikashi said. As Shikamaru left, Ino started to pack her things. She was going to get Naruto back home. Maybe even get him back as well. Meanwhile, Naruto and his party was resting, as Daisuke went to get some firewood. Hinata took Nell with her to get some water from a nearby stream. This left Naruto and Yujito alone. He figured that this was the best time to talk to her about Hinata and a couple other things. Look, Yujito, he said. About Hinata, I just want to say, you don't have to say anything, Naruto-sama. I had time to think about it and I realized you wouldn't just leave her on her own, like you wouldn't have left me on my own either. Or that's part of it, said Naruto. But I know, you also had a past relationship with her, and she betrayed you, I understand. It's partly why I don't care that much for her. Knowing that she hurt you in the past makes me angry for some reason. The reason why you're angry, kitten, is because you're starting to fall for him. The Nibe purred in her mind. Would you shut up? I'm not falling for him, she snapped at her tenant. Okay, then maybe you're mad at the princess because she got some of that man meat in front of you in the past, and now she's out for some more, and you haven't gotten a taste yet. As Nibe sent a lot of images in Yujito's mind, to the point where blood started to leak from her nose when she showed her things with Naruto and her in the sack. You alright, said Naruto. Yes, I'm fine, she said. She wiped her nose. I was just having a talk with my tenant. I can definitely understand that, said Naruto. Well, what I was trying to say, can you please try to get along with her? I don't want you to get wrapped up in the issues between us, said Naruto. She's a good girl. If you don't let it affect you of what she did to me in the past, the both of you can even become friends. Can you do this for me, he asks. Yes, Naruto-sama. I'll try and do it for you, she said. Good. Thank you, said Naruto. And another thing, you don't have to call me Naruto-sama. Naruto will do just fine. Okay, Naruto, she said. Naruto chuckled. His face then grew serious as he took her hands. Please don't take this question the wrong way, but how come Madara didn't kill you like the other Jinjokis that he captured? She instantly released his hand as she got up. As she turned her back to him, she dreaded this moment. She knew that he would ask that question. After a couple of minutes of silence, she finally spoke in a choked voice. The reason I'm still alive is quite simple. After the Akatsuki captured me, they were gonna take the Nibi away from me, she said. However, when Madara saw me, he took a liking to me. And since it did not matter what order the Bichus had to be extracted, he decided I would be the last one, until he captured the 8 and 9 tailed demons. Until then, he felt I could provide entertainment for himself and the rest of the Akatsuki members. Naruto was stunned. You mean? That's right, Naruto-sama, I mean Naruto. Standing before you is the whore of the Akatsuki. An unwilling whore, but a whore. For these past 7 years, she said. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Don't say that about yourself, kitten, said Nibi in anger. It doesn't matter. Now that he knows the truth, that fantasy about him and I getting together sometime is gone now. After all, he won't look at me the same ever again. Well, I can't blame him one bit, she said. But what happened next confused her and shocked her. As she was pulled into a hug, she tried to pull away. But after a few seconds of him not letting go, she melted as she started to cry. As she released her tears. I'm so sorry you had to suffer through such vile atrocities for all these years. I feel like it's my fault you had to, said Naruto. When I and B took down the rest of the Akatsuki and the Edo Tenseis, we felt like we were the only 2 Jinjokis alive. Had we known that you were captured and alive, I swear, we would have come to rescue you, Yujito-chan, he said. She could not understand what she was hearing. This wonderful man was blaming himself for the fate that she was put through for the past 7 years. Once more, there wasn't a hint of disgust in his voice, or the way he held her. She lifted her head, tears in her eyes. You're not disgusted by me, she said. He looked down with confusion in his face. Why would I be disgusted with you, he said. You did nothing wrong. What happened to you? No one should have to suffer. What Madara did to you only makes me want to kill him even more. And I promise you, once I get my hands on him and the rest of the Akatsuki, I will erase them, said Naruto. After hearing his declaration, she did something that she never did for a long time now. She smiled. Yes, as he leaned on and placed a kiss on her forehead. At that very moment, Hinata and Nell stepped out of the bushes as they were holding 2 jugs of water. Naruto-kun, we got the water, and Hinata froze at the scene to see Naruto in a huge embrace of Yujito, and he was kissing her on top of the head as she felt her heart constrict. As she had to hold herself, holding Nell and the jug of water in her hand. Oh, I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, she said. I didn't mean to intrude. As she placed down Nell, as she ran off into the woods, Hinata wait, said Naruto, but it was too late, as Nell was confused, and she saw the pretty eye lady crying. But what did her adopted father do? As Nell marched over right towards Naruto, she has grown to like Hinata a lot, as she kicked him right in the leg. What did you do to the lady with the pretty eyes? Ow, said Naruto, as he hopped on one leg. Damn it, Nell, I didn't do anything, he said. Liar, said Nell, as she kicked him on his other feet. She wasn't crying before she came here. So you did something, and that wasn't very nice, said Nell. I didn't do anything, said Naruto. You're lying again, said Nell as she jumped. She head-butted him with the mask on her head, right in his chest. Until a voice spoke up. Nell-chan, you stop that immediately. As she turned to see Hinata, she ran over to her as she jumped as Hinata caught her. But Naruto-kun made you cry. Nell don't like to see you cry. It made Nell very sad. Naruto-kun didn't make me cry, Nell-chan. It wasn't his fault, so don't blame him. And you most certainly shouldn't attack him. A lady like yourself should not get into a fight. Yujito realized that Naruto and Hinata need to talk. Hey Nell-chan, how about you help me and Daisuke get some firewood? What? I just got some firewood, said Daisuke. As Yujito turned towards him that glare. Oh yeah, I guess we need some more firewood, he said. Hinata made her way over towards Naruto, who seemed like he was still in a bit of pain. That mask in her head was really hard. I can heal that for you, Naruto-kun. It's alright. Okay, we can take care of it for me, he said. His tone was a bit snappy. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to bother you, she said. As he realized that he, well, snapped a bit. No, Hinata. It's not that. It's nothing really big, he said. So I didn't want to waste your chakra on anything. Oh, it's no trouble, she said as she went through hand signs. As her hand glowed green. Look, said Naruto. About what you saw, I just want to say, you don't have to say anything, she said, cutting them off. I told you, I believe you still have the capacity to be love. And love. You just need to find in yourself to let love back into your life. I hope that you would find love with me. But, if you can find it in Yujito-chan, I'm just happy that you found it back. After all, I just wanted to be happy again, she said. It's not like that. I was just comforting Yujito-chan after she told me some things that upset her, said Naruto. I'm sorry if what you saw upset you. Oh, you don't need to apologize to me, she said. It's I who should be apologizing to you. I had no right to react the way I reacted. After what I did, she said. He decided to change the topic. My legs feel a lot better now, he said. Thank you, he said. And she gave him a smile. He felt like he should say something else, but he just didn't know what to say. Thankfully, Daisuke, Nell, and Yujito returned back. As the group decided to make their way, as Naruto noticed that Hinata was growing fatigued on carrying Nell, so he offered to carry Nell. As Nell snuggled up into his chest, she looked up towards his face as she poked him on the chest as he looked down. Naruto-kun, she said, Nell is really sorry that she yelled at you and kicked you. Can you ever forgive Nell? Of course I forgive you, Nell. Let's just forget about it, okay? Okay. Can I say something, Naruto-kun, she said. What is it? I really like Hinata-chan, and I think that she will be a good wife-chan for you. As she gave him a bright smile, as Naruto that squeaked as he turned to see Hinata blushing like the old days. As Nell was waiting for her answer, as he leaned down towards her, he gave her a kiss on the forehead. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Go to sleep, okay? Okay, Naruto-kun, she said, as she fell asleep in his arms. After a couple more hours of travel, they finally arrived. We're here, said Naruto. I don't see anything, said Daisuke. As Naruto ignored him and looked forward. Hinata, activate your Byakugan and tell me what you see, he said. Yes, Naruto-kun, she said, as she scanned the area with her Genkai. About 50 yards ahead, there's a hidden entrance in that cave, Naruto-kun. There's a few traps around the area, but we should be able to avoid them, she said. And there's someone in the cave, she said, as she deactivated her Byakugan. But for some odd reason my Byakugan cannot focus on who they are. As Naruto expected that much. That's okay. I was told that there will be someone here to meet us. Just point out where the traps are, and leave the rest to me. Oh, okay, Naruto-kun. But if I may ask, what is this place, she said. He unsheathed his blade as he slammed it into the ground. As he reached for his demon mask, he answered her question. This is a former hideout of Zabuza Mamakai, the demon of the mist. I remember you telling me about him. He was from your first A-rank mission, wasn't he? But I remember you saying that he was dead. As Naruto nodded as he started to pull down the mask on his face. Yes, Zabuza is dead. But his Zanpakuto still lives on. In fact, his Zabuza blades are currently wheel, and that man in there is gonna help me unlock its full potential and power. As the mask slipped over his face, the whites of his eyes turned black. It was now black and blue in the center, but yet unlike last time, they did not seem as cold. As he looked at her, his eyes were frosty, yes, but they did not seem as cold as before. I'll be honest, I don't know what to expect when we get inside. This doesn't frighten you, does it? He asked as he looked towards her. No, Naruto-kun, I trust you, and as long as I'm with you, I'm not afraid, she said. He turned towards Yujito. What about you, Yujito-chan, he said. Do you have a problem with any of this, he asked. She shook her head. No, Naruto. If you're sure, then I'm sure about this, she said. Well then, let's go, he said. Hey, what about me? Don't I get an opinion? Daisuke asked. No, said Naruto. With the discussion over, all of them started to walk towards the hidden hideout, wondering what they were going to find inside. Moments later, Naruto paused mid-step. Something felt off. And then it rose up. Naruto spat out a curse as he dived under the flame. A massive wave of flame that fly over his head. It died out after a few seconds. There was a nozzle. It then turned and aimed towards Yujito. Yujito dropped down to the ground instantly as the fire blasted over her head. Son of a bitch, said Naruto as he was annoyed, as he looked forward as he saw the contraption with the nozzle. Hinata grabbed Nell into her arms as the nozzle aimed towards her. As she spun, rotation, as the fire bounced harmlessly off the dome. Nell yelled out in joy. This is fun, she said, as the fire ricocheted right towards a nearby tree, cinching Daisuke backside as he leaped away. That was the tree that he was hiding behind, as he dropped right on his ass before running for cover somewhere else. Hinata finally came to a stop. The moment she did, 4 more nozzles came up, as they all pointed towards her. Multi-share clone jutsu, said Naruto, as he created 5 clones, each of them created a Rasengan, as they flashed above the nozzles and drive their Rasengan on top of it. Hinata looked on in awe as Naruto destroyed all the nozzles. She then heard a whipping sound. She didn't even have time to react to this new threat, but Naruto flashed in front of her and caught the strange device, whatever it might be. A second later, he pulled a Zanpakuto and sliced the device in half. He then turned towards Yujito as she got to her feet. You okay, he said. She nodded as she stomped over to a nearby tree and pulled Daisuke out of hiding. As Naruto then spun around towards Hinata. Why didn't you tell me about the damn fire, he said. I didn't see it. He pulled his mask off, a confused look on his face. You didn't see it? She nodded. I didn't see it until it popped out on its own, she said. As he looked at her confusedly. Were you using your Byakugan before you were attacked, he asked. Reluctantly, she nodded. Yes, she said. As Naruto's face switched from confusion into anger. Then it's your fault Nell almost got hurt, he said. I guess 3 years of living a pampered life as a Inuzaka royal has dimmed your skills, he said. Naruto-kun, as he looked down to realize that Nell was right in her arms. Are you mad at Hinata-chan? As Naruto released a sigh before he turned and stomped off. As Nell watched as Naruto stomped off into the forest. Before she turned back to Hinata. Hinata-chan, is Naruto-kun okay? Hinata sighed despite knowing the reason behind her marriage. He still holds some resentment and bitterness of it. That coupled with the fact that she had likely lost his trust by not seeing the danger sooner. She knew that it was never going to be an easy road to get back to where she once was. But she wasn't going to give up. She would honor her promise to give him time to heal. He's just upset with me, said Hinata. She frowned, but why? You didn't do anything bad to him. Hinata smiled sadly. I did do something bad a long time ago, and he just needs time to forgive me for what I did. At least I hope, she said. Time skip. As Naruto was carrying Nell in his arms, as he refused to trust anyone else with her safety at that moment. After the traps that he had encountered earlier, with Hinata having her Byakugan activated and not knowing that the traps were there, he was past upset, he was furious. He could not believe how careless she had been in not seeing those traps. Nell could have been seriously hurt back then because of her lack of attention. A lack of attention by not keeping up her shinobi skills and playing the pampered matriarch. And Nell getting hurt because of someone else's carelessness was something that Naruto would not tolerate. Hinata hadn't said a word as Naruto took Nell from her and they started to walk down a long corridor. She knew that he was deeply upset with her and she didn't blame him one bit. She felt horrible that her lack of focus could have gotten any one of them hurt or possibly even killed. She couldn't understand. Why hadn't she seen those traps before they popped out on their own? Her Byakugan was activated, she should have seen the traps. She should have seen them. Perhaps she was paying more attention to Nell than the possible dangers around them. Yujito was also silent, as she knew that Naruto was angry with the Hyuga princess, as Yujito had dubbed her. As she glanced towards the girl, seeing the upset look on her face, it made Yujito smirk. Yet she herself hadn't decided yet if she wanted something more than just friendship with Naruto, who was the same as her. The possibility of such a thing kept on repeating in her mind over and over again, and Nibi wasn't making it any better. Shut it, you stupid cat. Yet still, it nagged at her. The thought keep on popping up in her mind. I wonder if he went through the same hell I did. Did he run from his own village when they chased him down, howling for his blood? Was he subjected to the constant jeers, discrimination, and abuse on a daily basis? Were you stabbed in the back by those you held close to your heart? She felt her face heated up a bit until Nell spoke up. I want Yuji-chan to hold me. As Naruto shook his head. No, not right now, he said. But Nell would not give in, as she was whining. I want Yuji-chan, she said, as she looked up towards her father, as she started to pout, to give him the puppy doll face. Please, she said, as Naruto looked over to Yujito, and then back to Nell. Yujito looked over as their eyes locked. Before she looked down towards Nell, who was holding out her hands, as Yujito saw the unspoken message in Naruto's eyes. As she took the small girl, Daisuke was behind them, as he was still rubbing his ass. The fire had burned him. He was currently wondering what the hell he got himself into by tagging along with this dangerous blonde and his female companions. But there was one thing clear, this guy was hardcore. If he pissed him off, he was gonna get his ass handed to him. As Naruto motioned for them all to stop, there was a simple wooden door. Down in the corner, it was just there. As he looked towards the door, they had not encountered any more traps for some time now, and he wondered why. The answer was simple, either they were at the end, or they were being led into a false sense of security. He turned towards Hinata. Hinata, activate your Byakugan and scan the corridor, and this time focus, he said. She winced at his tone and implication, but she nodded same way, as she activated her Byakugan and scanned the place. After a moment, she turned to Naruto. I don't see any dangers, Naruto-kun. It appeared to be safe, she said. Famous last words, said Yujito. Alright everyone, said Naruto, stay alert. It appears to be safe, but you never know. As he started to walk down the hall, he glanced back to see Nell, who was nestled in Yujito's arms. As the group made their way down the corridor, Hinata kept her Byakugan activated. She wouldn't let him down again. When they were halfway down, Hinata sensed two mechanisms emerged on the wall. These ones were clunky. They looked old and worn out. As they aimed towards Naruto and Yujito, her eyes widened. She moved and pushed the both of them to each side as the machines opened fire. As Yujito rolled, making sure to tuck Nell in her arms. As she rolled over so Nell wouldn't get any hurt. As a beam of energy blasted past it where she was. As Naruto threw two kunais with explosive tags as they went off. Boom, the machines were blown to pieces. As Naruto looked over towards Nell, as she was safe, he then turned towards Hinata, but before he could say anything, she was on the ground, bleeding. Meanwhile, so, you wish to obtain a blade to slay a demon. Is that right, young Sasuke Uchiha? Yes, Lord Kochiki, said Sasuke as he kneeled in front of the former 13 Gotei captain, out of respect. You may address me as Byakuya-sama, Uchiha-san. Now, I was not aware in this time period that you were aware of hollows. Hollows? I don't understand what you mean. Are hollows what you refer to as demons? Asked Sasuke confused. Hollows are a race of creatures who are born from human souls, who for various reasons do not cross over after their death, and they stay in the human world for too long. They are corrupt spirits that devour the souls of people. I'm afraid I still don't understand, said Sasuke. Hollows are former humans who lose their hearts to despair or some other reason, and they're not guided over to the spiritual world by the Shinigami, or a spiritual burial, and eventually turn into a hollow. As Sasuke was starting to understand a bit what he was talking about. But what he said unnerved Sasuke, that hollows are created from despair. Just like what Naruto is going through right now. Sasuke thought that he needed his sword even more now, because should this be true, and if he was forced to fight Naruto and actually kill him, he would have to perform one of these soul burials, so that his friend could move on and do not turn to one of these hollows. As he realized that he might have to kill Naruto just to save him. Kami, what kind of cruel joke are you playing on me? Sasuke thought to himself. Byakuya then spoke. Are hollows the demons that you wish to kill? No, Byakuya-sama. The demons I speak about are called Bijus, or tail beasts that possess a living person. The demons are known by the number of tails their body carry. that signify how powerful they are as well. Scriptures say that these bijous were once a part of a greater entity known as the Jobe or Ten Tails. They also say that the first ninja, the Sage of Six Paths, did battle with the Jobe and split its power into 9 individual entities. I seek a blade capable of destroying one of these bijous if I'm forced to. I believe that these bijous that you describe are definitely a different type of demons than the hollows. However, a Zanpakuto should still be able to dispatch any supernatural demons regarding their type. What is a Zanpakuto? Asked Sasuke. A Zanpakuto is a blade that you seek, which will kill a demon. Yes, then that is what I want. If you were anyone else, I would refuse this request. But I am bound by the blood pact made between your clans. Wait here. I shall return shortly. I thank you, Byakuya-sama. The man then left the room. A few minutes later he returned back, as he handed over what looked like a normal blade. Sasuke studied the blade carefully as he held it. Byakuya then spoke once more. What you hold there, Uchiha, is a Zanpakuto to my first lieutenant, Renji. It's a powerful Zanpakuto, and it should be sufficient to achieve the task that you desire. He no longer needs a blade, Sasuke asked in curiosity. No, he was one of the few that fell in the battle in the Iron Car War, said Byakuya. Renji was one of the finest lieutenants that served for me. I regret not letting you know that in our time together. So I'm entrusting you this blade, and I hope that you will wield it with honor. I promise, I shall, said Sasuke. I shall hold you to that, young Uchiha. Because if I hear different, I shall seek you out, and I will be rather displeased. Sasuke knew that that wasn't an idle threat. Now to begin the training with your Zanpakuto, first you need to achieve Shikai, which is the initial release of the blade's second form, which you now hold. To activate it, you will need to learn the name of your Zanpakuto. This is not as easy as picking a name. The living spirit of Zanpakuto already has a name. Therefore, you must be able to communicate and harmonize with the Zanpakuto, which means speaking to the spirit in its world. Once this is accomplished, then we can begin your training to achieve Bankai with the Zanpakuto. I see. I had no idea I would need such extensive training to use this weapon, but unfortunately my time is limited, and I need to be able to wield the blade effectively to either save or destroy my friend when the time comes. Byakuya looked into Sasuke's eyes for any sign of deception. After a minute or two, he spoke. I can teach you how to activate Shikai in a short amount of time. After that, you'll have to learn how to unlock Bankai all on your own. I understand, said Sasuke. Very well. I shall begin by telling you the Shinkai name of your Zanpakuto. Its name is Zamimaru. Meanwhile, as Naruto was checking on Hinata, whatever that beam was, it went straight through her shoulder, leaving a hole. He tore his sleeve as he tied as best as he could, but he was still bleeding as he ordered Isuke to carry her, threatened the man with death if he ever dropped her. As he told Yujito hold on to Nell tightly as they moved, as he rushed down the hallway, as he ripped through one torrent after another. When the final obstacle was removed, he blasted through the wooden door. Looking around the room, he found an old man sipping tea at a table with a long beard. As the old man was dressed in a white kimono, as he looked towards the wooden door that was now broken. I would have opened the door if you had knocked, he said. Who are you? Said Naruto, as he was in no mood to be formal. The old man looked towards the giant blade in Naruto's hand. As he spoke, well, since I see you carry my former student, Zanpakuto, let me introduce myself. As he rose up, my name is Genryu Yosai Shigakune Yamamoto. It was at that moment, as these came in the room, as Naruto took Hinata away from him. Can you help her? Naruto asked. Yes, I can help the young girl. Bring her over here, he said, as it was a long table. The old man's hand started to glow as he pressed them on Hinata's wounds. A few seconds later, the blood pouring from the wound ceased, as the wound started to heal almost instantaneously. As Yamamoto looked up with a smile, your young lady friend will be fine. Her injury has been healed, but it will take time to replenish the blood that she has lost. Follow me. We'll take her to my room where she can get some rest. As Naruto nodded as he ordered for the others to stay behind. They will be returning shortly. As Nell didn't want to stay behind though, Yamamoto came and picked the young child up. Now, little one, I promise. The young woman will be fine. She just needs some rest. Really? Said Nell, sniffling as she wiped away her tears. Yamamoto nodded as he looked towards the mask in her forehead, as he gave her a friendly grandfather smile, as he brought her over, as he pulled out a wooden box as there was some small plushy toys in there. She immediately took the small purple plushie in her arms and squeezed it tightly. Now, if you promise to stay here and promise to be good, he paused as he was thinking. Then I'll give you some ice cream and sweets. Would you like that? He said. The mention of sugary sweets soothed Nell as she nodded. While this happened, Naruto left the room along with Yamamoto as he was carrying Hinata. A few minutes later, as they returned, as he introduced himself to the others, as they all sat at the table. I apologize for your friend's injury. I take it one of Zabuza's traps was the culprit. I'm not surprised. He did hide them quite well. Yujito sipped her tea as she shook her head. It's not your fault that she got hurt, Yamamoto-san. The Hyuga princess was careless. She should have seen the traps, no matter how well they were hidden. She noticed Naruto stiffen, but she ignored him. What do you mean? Said Yamamoto. As Naruto was one to speak up, what she mean is, Hinata's from the Hyuga clan, in the Hidden Leaf village. They possess a unique Kekkei that grant her clan and her extra sensory perception. This also gives them penetrating sight and telescopic vision within 360 degrees. So what she's trying to say is no matter how well Zabuza hid his traps, she should have seen them. The old man shook his head. I'm afraid that both of you are mistaken, he said. As the both Jinjulkis looked up toward Yamamoto, who was fixing Nell her ice cream, chocolate, the one that she loved. I've heard about the famous Hyuga clan and know all about their abilities, and so did my pupil Zabuza. He went through great lengths to shield his traps from several of the visual based Kekkei in this world. So no matter how hard that girl used her Byakugan, she wouldn't have seen the traps until they have sprung up. This revelation was like a slap near his face as he realized that he blamed Hinata for almost hitting Nell hurt when she couldn't have. No, he felt horrible, getting so angry at her and she wasn't at fault in any way. What I can't understand is why she got hurt, said Yamamoto as he scratched his bald head. Zabuza set his traps to target the most powerful chakra signature. And while that young lady is strong, as he looked towards the both of them, I can see that you two are much stronger. I would have thought that you two would have been the first target, so why did it attack her first? It was then that both Naruto and Yujito realized she had pushed them out of the way to save them from any possible injury or death. The feeling of guilt that washed through them was a lot, as Yujito wondered why would the Hyuga girl save her. After all, she hadn't been welcoming to her at all, and Naruto wondered what kind of fool he was. Well, that's a mystery left for another time, said Yamamoto. As he turned towards Naruto, I see you carry Zabuza. Zanpakuto with you. I take it you're the chosen one. In a rare moment of confusion, Naruto tilted his head. The chosen one? As Yamamoto nodded. Yes, the one that Zabuza said he was sent to me, to unlock the full potential of his blade. Something even he was unable to do. I guess that's me then. I spoke to the spirit of his blade, and he told me that I should seek you out. After all, you're the one here, said Naruto. Well, if that is the case, he has indeed deemed you worthy, and to do what he was unable to do. And what was that, said Naruto. Simple, said Yamamoto. To achieve Bankai for your Zanpakuto, Naruto. But guys, if you end episode right here, if you want to see next part, then do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification say posted. Remember, share to all your friends and social media platform. And also, guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over an Anime King 2 and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys very soon. Peace.